Have you ever been asked to do something really, really hard? Something that didn't make a lot of sense, but you knew you had to do it? Today, we're going to talk about a man named Abraham who was asked to do the hardest thing he could ever imagine, and how his story teaches us about incredible faith. So, who was Abraham? Well, God had made a huge promise to him. He told Abraham that he would have as many descendants as there are stars in the sky, but there was a small problem. Abraham and his wife Sarah were very old and didn't have any children. It seemed impossible, but they trusted God, and just as promised, they had a son named Isaac. Abraham loved Isaac more than anything in the world. He was the child of the promise, the one who would carry on the family line. One day, God spoke to Abraham and gave him a command that must have been shocking. He said, "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Can you imagine how Abraham must have felt? His heart must have been breaking. This was the son he had waited for his whole life. This command seemed to go against everything God had promised. Why would God give him a son, only to ask him to give him back in such a terrifying way? It's a question that makes us all stop and think. But here's what's amazing about Abraham. The very next morning, he got up early. He saddled his donkey, took 2 of his servants and his son Isaac, and set off for the place God had told him about. He didn't argue, he didn't delay, he simply obeyed. This wasn't because he didn't love Isaac. It was because he loved and trusted God even more. He had faith that God was good and that his plan was perfect, even when he couldn't understand it. After a 3-day journey, Abraham saw the mountain in the distance. He told his servants, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you." Did you catch that? He said, "We will come back." Even in this moment of testing, Abraham had faith that somehow both he and Isaac would return. As Abraham and Isaac walked up the mountain together, Isaac, carrying the wood for the offering, turned to his father. He said, "Father, the fire and wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham's reply is one of the most powerful statements of faith in the entire Bible. He looked at his son and said, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." He was trusting that God had a solution, a way out that he couldn't yet see. When they reached the top, Abraham built an altar. He arranged the wood, and then he bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar. Just as Abraham raised his hand to carry out God's command, an angel of the Lord called out from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. At that very moment, Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. God had provided the sacrifice, just as Abraham had believed he would. Abraham joyfully released Isaac and sacrificed the ram instead. He named that place "The Lord Will Provide." This incredible story isn't just about a difficult test. It's a beautiful picture of faith and obedience. Abraham trusted God completely, even when it was painful and confusing. And God honored that faith by providing a way. It also gives us a sneak peek into God's ultimate plan. Thousands of years later, God would also provide a sacrifice for all of us, his one and only Son, Jesus, to save us. So what can we learn? Sometimes following God can be hard. We might not always understand his plan. But like Abraham, we can choose to trust that he is good, that he loves us, and that he will always provide what we need. His plans are always better than ours. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore this amazing story. If it touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more stories of faith. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.